Have you ever stopped to wonder if your hair is trying to tell you something? It's so much more than just a cosmetic feature. Turns out, your hair is this incredibly sensitive biological record of your life. So let's dive in and uncover the hidden science that's literally written in every single strand.
Okay, that might sound a little wild, right? But the science on this is actually really clear. What do your hormones, your stress, and your sex life have in common? Well, the answer connects our day-to-day lives directly to the tiny cellular machinery inside every hair follicle on our heads. We're going to explore exactly how these things that seem so separate are all tangled up together.
So to really get what's happening, you've got to imagine this constant battle, and it's taking place at the root of every single one of your hairs. On one side, you have these hormones that are trying to protect it and keep it growing. And on the other side, you've got hormones that are hitting the gas on aging and thinning.
So let's meet the main players. On the left, we've got estrogen, which is basically the guardian of your hair. It keeps the hair in its growth phase longer and acts like a powerful antioxidant, protecting the little cells that create color. But then, on the right, you have the villain of our story, DHT, a really potent form of testosterone. And DHT does the exact opposite. It shrinks the follicle, it slams the brakes on the growth phase, and it basically speeds up the aging of your hair.
And this brings us right to the main problem, this thing called oxidative stress. The best way to think about it is like biological rust. See, it's caused by these really unstable molecules called free radicals. Now, our bodies have defenses, antioxidants, but when they get overwhelmed, these free radicals just start damaging our cells. And in the hair follicle, their number one target is the melanocytes. Those are the tiny factories that produce all the pigment. And when they get damaged, they just stop working. And the result? Gray hair.
For literally centuries, people have sworn that a big shock or a period of intense stress turned their hair gray. For a long time, it was just seen as folklore. But now, science has proven it is absolutely real. So let's look at how that message actually travels from your brain all the way down to your hair.
It is a truly devastating chain reaction. So when you get stressed, your body's fight-or-flight system kicks into gear. The nerves that are wrapped around your hair follicles release a flood of this chemical called norepinephrine. This chemical is like a fire alarm for the pigment-producing stem cells, and it forces all of them to activate and leave their safe little reservoir all at once. The huge problem here? This is a one-way trip. That reservoir is emptied out for good, meaning that follicle can never ever produce a colored hair again.
And here is the key finding from the research that honestly surprised everyone. For years, we all pointed the finger at cortisol, the famous stress hormone. But these new studies confirmed that the real culprit is norepinephrine, and it's delivered directly by the nervous system right to the stem cell's doorstep. It's a much more targeted and much more permanent attack.
So, if stress and DHT are the villains in this story, who's the hero? Well, enter oxytocin. We often call it the bonding hormone or the love hormone, but it turns out its benefits go way beyond just our emotions. It is a seriously powerful protector for our hair.
Yeah, oxytocin is a multitasking marvel for your scalp. It directly stimulates the dermal papilla cells. That's kind of the follicle's command center. And it boosts signals that improve blood flow, which brings in more nutrients. But it's not just fighting off stress hormones. It's actively providing antioxidant protection, fighting that biological rust we were just talking about.
And the best part is, you don't need a prescription for this stuff. You can boost your own oxytocin levels completely naturally. Simple things like hugging, or just spending time with people you care about, meditating, exercising, even just listening to your favorite music. All of these trigger its release. It's a perfect example of how our lifestyle choices create a very real, very powerful biochemical effect.
All right, now we get to the part where everything we've been talking about, the hormones, the stress, the oxytocin, it all comes together. Let's take a look at how sexual intimacy can act like a powerful reset button for the very systems that control hair aging.
First up, just a number, 28%. Now, what in the world could this possibly have to do with your hair? Well, a surprising amount, actually.
This number comes from a major long-term study. It suggests that regular sexual activity sends a signal to the body to just keep producing key reproductive hormones, like estrogen, for longer. And as we just saw, estrogen is a primary guardian of the hair follicle. It's that protective estrogen shield. So by delaying that natural hormonal shift, you're basically extending that protection.
This comparison really shows the powerful shift that happens in your nervous system. On the left, you've got the body under stress, sky high in that hair-damaging norepinephrine, with the fight-or-flight system in complete overdrive. Then, on the right, you have the state after intimacy,
Norepinephrine levels plummet, the stress system stands down, and the body is flooded with protective chemicals like oxytocin. It's a total autonomic reset, like flipping a switch. It acts as this incredible buffer that protects those precious pigment stem cells from being wiped out.
So let's just put it all together side by side. On one hand, you've got oxytocin, stimulated by positive connection and intimacy, which sends out growth signals and lowers stress. And on the other hand, you've got norepinephrine from stress, which permanently destroys the stem cells that produce color. You've got two different signals, coming from two completely different states of being, with two totally opposite outcomes for your hair.
So after all this science, what's the big takeaway here? It's that your hair isn't just sitting there. It is actively, constantly telling a story.
And here it is, the main message. The state of your hair is a visible readout of your internal world. It literally reflects the balance of your hormones, the burden of your stress, and even the strength of your social and physical bonds. It's a true outward sign of your inner hormonal and nervous system health.
And that really just leaves us with one final thought. We now know that our lifestyle choices, how we manage our stress, how we connect with other people, are writing the biological story of our hair in real time. So the only question left to ask is, what story do you want yours to tell?